Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're checking out a track from an act named Kali titled Mother of the Witch. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen. We're going to listen through this on YouTube from start till finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, let's do it. Okay, it's got some vocals. It's kind of filtered. I like the drum beat that's going on. The drum group's kind of sick. And those pinches and squeals on the pinches and squeals that are going on with the guitar are great too. It sounds like everything is in the center field, and I'm going to talk about that at the end. My understanding is that this is like black metal, so you know, when I was growing up, I'd listen to bands like Burzum and Immortal and stuff like that. I'm familiar with the whole audio quality thing and how it's sort of like, you know, in regards to black metal and genres like that. I like the growly vocals of streams. They make sense for the genre. And the guitars are grinding away with the drums and those furious double kicks. You know, there's genuinely a lot to appreciate here. Without a hint of sarcasm, I think that there's a lot to appreciate. You know, that da-da-da-da-da-da-da, those semitonal sort of tritone bits there with the hammer-ons and pull-offs are great. A few blast beats in there as well. And it does sound incredibly heavy. I like the chonkiness of those rhythm parts there with the palm mutes. I'm not sure what the song's about, to be fair, apart from Mother of the Witch, which is the song title. There is like rising of those guitar parts in that section where there aren't vocals, like as a call and response kind of thing, which I really appreciate. And guitar solo. Lots of range there. And their tapping technique is phenomenal. And they're doing, you know, they're doing a fade out there with a volume automation. You know, it's deliberate. It's deliberate stuff. I enjoyed this track, but there's a few things I want to talk about as we go through. Because this is the conclusion of my review of Kali and their track Mother of the Witch with remastered audio. I'm not sure what the track was about, to be honest. I'm not. I couldn't understand what the lyrics were saying, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Again, within this type of genre of music, you typically do have growls or screams, more so screams of black metal. And because of that, you can't always get the words through clearly, and that's just part of the aesthetic of it. You know, that's absolutely fine. I don't have an issue with that personally. I know some people might, but there's more to music than just, I think, the lyrics. And I also think that, to an extent, the aggression and the chaos of those vocals and the style it is can often be more meaningful to the track than having that transparency of the words coming through itself in certain situations. I think that what we had going on with the vocals, you know, there was great vocal technique there, you know, that sounded really, you know, like when we think of like genres like black metal, for example, this sounds very appropriate to it. The guys clearly got the technique to be able to pull it off. And it had that screaming kind of like that aggression, that fury, that frustration there, that intensity that we need from the genre to be able to be on top of the guitars and the bass and the drums and everything like that. So that was great. You know, it sounds like the technique is a sustainable one where we're not hurting our vocal cords, but you know, that's okay. Like either way, I'm sure they'll continue to do more tunes like this. The track at 2 minutes 13 was nice and short. It was well within that 2 to 4 minute sweet spot, but well within as in it was like closer to the 2 minute, which is honestly more desirable. Especially if you're not familiar with this kind of music. I know that it's a niche genre, even nowadays, where there's a lot, metal's obviously a lot more accepted than it was maybe, well, Well, to be fair, metal was heavily accepted in the 20th century, but more so today. There's more variety within metal stuff nowadays. It's an arguable point. We can agree to disagree on that front, but I do think that this track length makes sense. You get a taste of the band, what they're all about, and then they're gone, and they had a fade out at the end to kind of play out that end theme there. We had a lot going in the track there. Like, there was these really frenetic, fast, intense drum beats with lots of blast beats and double kick and fills and stuff like that. You know, we had some chonky bits where we slowed down a little bit to help with the rhythm guitars, with the palm muting. We had like solos in there and lots of interesting sort of melodies and harmonies. There were little trills and hammer on and pull off bits there, which were great with regards to the ornamentation of that instrumental part of it. And the bass was nice and full sounding. I think it sounded great for what we had with in regards to the studio production, which we'll talk about at the end. I think that, there was a nice combination of elements in here. They made an interesting song, but I want to talk about the studio production, recording, mixing, and mastering. I think that this sounds, in the nicest way possible, it does not sound like it was recorded in a studio. Part of that is because of the fact that all of it was in the mono. It seemed like everything was in the middle of the stereo field, and that's typically indicative that we recorded it through a mono mic or something like that. I could be wrong. There was no resonance whatsoever on the outside of the stereo field on the left or right cans, so I'm assuming that we recorded this through a mono mic. So this could well be a live recording that they did at their practice space or something like that, and that's fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that just comes from my understanding as an audio engineer of what I'm hearing, right? So I don't think that it sounds bad because of that. I think that for what they've done here, they've put up a recording of their music, and I think that it shows what they're capable of. And in actuality, I'm actually kind of excited for them, because I feel as if when Carly get into the studio, they could potentially make some great tunes, you know? And I understand that there needs to be a balance between authenticity to the genre in regards to the audio quality and having that raw kind of visceral tone, and being able to hear the individual elements of the mix. You know, I'm not saying it should be sterilized. I'm not saying that it should be polished and pristine like a pop single. But what I'm saying is there is so much cool stuff going on in this track that I think it's a shame that it's all in the center of the stereo field. If this was recorded in a studio, and I know it's not cheap going to a studio, right? But if you were to go to a studio and record this and get the guitars double tracked and the drums nice and wide with different mics, and then the bass and the vocals, put some reverb tails on the vocals, get them a bit, because the vocals are fantastic. We've got a band here who clearly knows what they're doing and has the chops to make great music. And I think this is why this music's gotten a bit of attention on YouTube. They've got like 5,000 views and 100 likes, which is awesome. It is honestly a lot more than I see from a lot of the artists that I review on a regular basis. So I'm really happy for these guys. I just really hope that they can, and again, if this was recorded in a studio, even then I don't think that's any of the band's fault for it sounding like it's all in the middle of the stereo field, because I feel as if, I mean, this could have been audio they've recorded and then they've like done something with the bit rate or the sample rate, so it sounds weird. It could be YouTube's audio compression, but regardless, I just feel like in the studio side of things, if they haven't gone to a studio, if they can go to a studio, even if it's just like recording a live take of the track and getting the mics panned in the directions they need to. Hell, man, if you have the original stems, I'd be keen to have a go at recording, at mixing and mastering. It'd be great. You know, I'd love to work with this kind of music. I think there's lots of cool stuff happening in it. But look, either way, this is my review of Carly, Mother of the Witch. And I hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go check out the various social medias and the YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as either help more than ever with crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands Out.